And so the Takarangi framework that we're talking about doesn't change your models. You can still use your CBTs, motivational interviewing, your tapawhas, your DAOs, but what this framework does is asks you to say, but how are you doing those? What's the underlying principles that you are using, and are you, if you like, ticking to those? So it's not good enough just to do it, but it's also about how we communicate that. For those of you who have seen this before, that's me. Row J, 1332. But it is about the challenge. If we're going to say that we're a kaupapa Māori practitioner or a service, what does that look like? When we hang the shingle out saying that's what we do, what should we be looking at? What's under that t-shirt?
I think that's important, by the way, because I was disturbed by Dion's full yesterday, and I'm not going to attack the Ministry of Health or the people who work there, but actually, and I thought, everybody just let that go. And he talked about last year, the percentage of people who were accessing Māori services, and there's been a change in the stats. Actually, it's now 51% of Māori going to non-Māori services. Yeah. Aren't you worried?
We also have to believe that using things from the Māori world, in the care and support of whānau does make a difference. If we don't believe that, we're in the wrong service. If we do believe that, then we need to be thinking about how we actually employ those tangible tools. It is about a point of uniqueness. It's not just about independence, autonomy, Māori mana motuhake. It is actually about us thinking about what is our unique value. What is it that we offer that nobody else offers? It's the business opportunity, the niche that we occupy in our business. What is it? And we'd also, as being Māori, okay, how do we market it? How do we sell that? How do we show that that's our unique value? It's an educative, the framework that we, in the workshops, it's an educative intervention because it does shape your practice and it does shape, influence your practice. So the framework actually should be not just another model, it shouldn't be just another theory, it actually is about how you practice. More importantly, we asked the question, and we're going to ask the question again today, are you walking the talk? And how will I know that you're walking the talk? And at the end of the day, we should be thinking about and reflecting on how is it that you do walk your talk?
And like people were talking about yesterday about individuals and their whānau, and that the work that you're doing now is inclusive of whānau. We talk about Takarangi in this form because it's actually inclusive of being Māori and being excellent at being Māori. And I'm Ngāti Hine, so I don't have the same obligation for humbleness that Manuka does. But actually, in this process also, we actually try and give you a sense of your greatness, about the greatness that you contribute. And that being Māori in whether you're in problem gambling and AOD and other drugs, addictions, mental health, but actually also just health generally, Māori health. Being Māori and being the best Māori practitioner is the best gift that you can give to somebody else and yourself.
How do you, or how will you articulate your therapeutic intent? So in your jobs, in your work, what is your therapeutic intent? How will you show your deliberateness in practice? How do you show that you actually know what you're doing, or that you're really clear about the things that you do to make a difference? And what stops you from engaging in any kind of framework of competency? Any kind of competency. So it might not just be cultural, I'm going to suggest that it might be any kind of framework. So think about those as we go through.
Ka haere mai, tō tātou maruhiri. Anang, ka hau mai e te kuahawa te whare tapu. E ahake tā koutou e titiro ana. Ore kau e whakaaro. Ka haere mai tō tamaiti ki tahu taha. Nā, ka karangatia, te rangatira tamaiti. Hau mai. Haere mai ki roto i tō whare. That's manaki. That is respect. Ka haere mai taku tungana. Ki tēnei taha, ki te taha o taku tamaiti. Ka tautakotia a kōrero i whakapukina ki tō tātou rangatira. ka tū mai, ka whakapau ho, te wai o tautoko. That is Manaaki. But the Manaaki, the second time of my tungane, he taku tamaiti, he Manaaki ana I aho. Understand? This is what the framework takes you through, walks you through. Now, I will have another demonstration for you that you have plainly seen. Ko koe tamahine, ko koe tungane. I ngā wā o mua, ka tū mai te kai kōrero ki te kōrero. Ka whakapūkea ia, ana whakaaro, ka whakahoki atu ia, oh, sorry. He gets up, the speaker gets up to say what he wishes to say. And he takes a seat. And that is the one and only time he stands. Because if you cannot say in two shakes of a lamb's tail what you want to say, sweetheart, it's best not saying it. Okay? Wēnei ngā whakākoranga I ho mai tia e ngā mātua. You must remember, it's sad to say, but the majority of our kaimahi kei roto I ngā whare katoa e Manaaki ana ngā māwiwi. Ka hore rātou e mohu ana I tōku reo. The majority of health workers today do not have the language. And that's the sad part. But never mind. Through some type of a competency that you will understand, that will walk you through each step, like I have just shown you the step of Manaaki. Two different aspects of Manaaki in the one time. And that is beautiful. And the other one I wish to point out to you is your Manaaki to Terry and Morty. Because the majority of you have sat and listened, regardless of various interruptions, and you have given them your respect. That's the other part of Manaaki, is the respect. So we have honour. Everything that belongs to Manaaki, you demonstrated in this last 30 minutes. And I think it's beautiful. Hana tēnei e hiri, hoi nui e whakamārama ana. Tēnā, tikana o te Manaaki, I tatu mai ki wanginu ia tātou. But there I go again in that jolly language. But never mind. But you have demonstrated that you know and understand now what Manaaki is. 3 different aspects of Manaaki you were part of. And I do hope that you will keep that to you. And remember, whenever you go and see those people who need your help and understanding, that you will show the different aspects of Manaaki. It is most important in your work. Thank you so much.
Just before Moi kind of starts to wrap us up, I just want to say that the challenge that we said at the start was about the so what. So what is about trying to get us to a place where we actually are able to think about our practice, be deliberate in that practice, be able to reflect on that practice, but more importantly, the reflexive part of it is actually do something about that, and then able to keep moving with it and growing. And while the framework is often about measuring, actually what we find that most people are on the framework, wherever they are in the framework, it's about learning and learning together. So that's the challenge. How do we learn? How do we find those ways of being able to make our unique place in the world? How can we be confident that we're actually talking about an outcome and that we're walking the talk?
Because one of the biggest things that actually happens is that when we start talking about the takarangi, every Māori provider, and I do a lot of supervision as well, but when we do takarangi, every Māori provider thinks they're doing exactly the right thing. And they think that they have the answer, and so you do. And what takarangi does is actually enables you to get to the answer a little bit differently from what you might be doing currently. Because it says, look at what you're doing, don't just tell me you're doing manaaki, reflect on what your practice is and look to how you can improve it, so the outcome for our tangata whaiora and for our whānau actually, and for our whole Māori is different. So, kia ora tātou.